J6 staying active in the chat early. Yo, what's poppin', little J6?
I got some Rick T, from the field to the big leagues. Bang Moody from the three, I'm like KD. Number one draft pick, you should pick me. You ain't considered the GOAT if you don't got a ring. Arrogant jello like Brady throwing it to AB. My team a home run with more stars than the Yankees. Now we getting cocky. Had to put my goals on ice like Sidney Crosby. No, they can't stop me. Got my swing on the back, put my team on my back. You can get all the games, all the stats, and all the facts. This ain't Stephen A or Max. Too sharp to get skipped, and you can't dispute that. This a duck put back. If you ever take an L, then we gotta run it back. If you coming here for sports, then you never coming back. That's real, homie, for real. Was a zero, Damian Lil. Now I'm pulling up from the logo. Bang, making them feel. Grinding to get the deal, get your family in the hills. Get focused, put your work in on the court and on the field. That's real, homie, for real. Was a zero, Damian Lil. Now I'm pulling up from logos. Bang, making them feel. I got some Rick T, from the field to the big leagues. Bang Moody from the three, I'm like KD. Number one draft pick, you should pick me. You ain't considered the GOAT if you don't got a ring.
And we are live, baby, with the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8. I'm your host, Eric Holmes, and today we got a show for you, man. Supposed to be joined with Jello Rexroad here soon, hopefully. But today, man, we're going to start off with UFC and then get into some NBA and then get into some NFL offseason, man. So let's get it down, man. Joining me for the UFC is our manager, UFC analyst, Justin Sanchez, man. This was the combo. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about there, man. Justin, how you doing, brother?
Doing great, man. Especially after those fights last night. Shout out Dana. Shout out UFC. Shout out StreamYard. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out StreamYard, you know what I'm saying? I do know what you're saying. A lot of people out here buying these fights, including me. I buy them. I know you buy them. But there's a lot of people that don't. And I heard last night on the Twitter sphere that they had a lot of problems trying to stream those fights last night. Jalen, you see those YouTubers versus TikTokers boxing. So honestly, I watched it. I watched all the fights just because Haley is a big TikToker, YouTuber fan. She watches the guys that were Austin McBride or Austin McBroom, whatever his name is. We all know who those guys are. But I don't want to disrespect the game of boxing by talking about that on a sports podcast. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go ahead and put these TikTokers, these YouTubers on a sports podcast because that wasn't sport. That wasn't sport. Let's be honest.
And I'll speak for me and everyone else. Thank you for not doing that. So let's just move right back on to.
Of course, man. Ham Dizzle 32. Let's fucking go. Appreciate you, man. The reason I am allowed to say let's fucking go is because there's no more limitations, baby. Joining ASAP Network was a pleasure for the Rick T podcast and the Talk Your Talk show. But man, we are back on our own, doing our own thing. We're just doing our damn thing. Oh, my guy T. But yeah, we're back on our own, doing our own thing. No limitations. It was a blessing. We appreciate everything that they offered for us, but we just decided to go our own direction. Feel like that was the best for us and our team, man. But let's get into it, Justin. UFC 263, Adesanya versus Vettori. Let's start off with Edwards versus Diaz, man. I know you watched that fight. I do want to show highlights, but I can't because Dana White will take those down faster than a white girl leaving a church on Sunday, or a hooker leaving a church on Sunday. But man, let's start it off. Edwards versus Diaz, man. What did you see there? What did you think on that fight?
So going into it, I was nervous for Diaz because Leon Edwards is just a known dog in the cage. Now, Nate Diaz, the big dog of the cage, man. Like, no matter what happens, he took, a 3-year hiatus at one point, came back, and he puts on performances like this. There was times in this fight where I thought for sure that Diaz was gone. Did you see that gash on the side of his head?
Yeah, bro. It was
hard
nasty.
elbow, ground and pound in like the third round. But the crazy thing about this whole fight was it was a co-main event. So it was a third fight to, the championship fight, the main event. Anyway, they got 5 rounds, and it wasn't even a title fight. So that's basically unheard of. Like, you just got to have a lot of pull. That shows how much the UFC respects Nate Diaz, how much they know that how, good he is in those later rounds. And
exactly.
If you didn't see, he backed it up in the later round, 5th round. His back's against the wall. He's bloody than all get out. He has no fight left in him, right? Doesn't look like it. And then, bam, rings Leon's bell. One thing, though, he didn't capitalize, but I think he was more tired and didn't really know if he was stunned or not. Maybe he didn't see what everybody else seen is all I could think of. But all that said and done, Leon won, he got his hand raised, but all everyone's talking about is Nate Diaz and love Nate Diaz. And they're probably all at his party, so he won.
See, and you saying that, I do want to bring up, I feel like even he knew that. Even he knew that his perspective on the UFC fans was bigger than just that victory. You know what I'm saying? He came into that. He does that weirdo flex, that upper flex. That where did he a flex is like that? I feel like.
Watch his old fights, bro. He's a beast, man. He'd Stockton slap somebody. Bam.
Dude, he did that last night, bro. It was literally the 5th round. He's all hype or whatever. Leon's like, hey, man, we made it this far. He was like, let's get it. I was like, oh, bro, 5th round, yeah. Nate Diaz, he is about to get down. But one thing I noticed about all fighters, and I don't think necessarily Nate Diaz was faking it, but why do all fighters later in the fight like they're so tired when we know they're not? You see Nate Diaz doing this a lot.
Well, Eric, I think something you got to realize is that's a 5-round fight for 2 fighters that are literally giving their all. Go punch a bag for 30 minutes straight. Try to.
I 100% agree with you. I told you and Tony the other day, I was like, when I used to do wrestling at Watson, I was dead tired. Literally, my head used to bobble. It was crazy. I was dead tired. So, but my thing is those dudes are professionals. They train for this all their life. They train for months at a time for this.
When he was turning,
he's just been doing it for years at a time.
In my opinion, I think because Nate Diaz did that a lot in the fight where he kind of just turned and would walk away like this. I think what he was trying to do is catch
him slipping.
Leon slipping. Yeah, try to come at him, and then he just boom, boom, boom. Because if you see, Leon wasn't getting too close. He was staying a distance, and he was terrorizing his leg.
Honestly, yeah, that leg, that's one thing I noticed in these fights too, is leg kicks. I never really realized how big of an impact they were throughout the fight. If you can get started early on a leg kick and just stay on it throughout the fight, it's over with. Yeah, it's over with, bro. It's so bad.
You and I witnessed it with Sean O'Malley's unofficial loss. He got hit in the leg. He got drop foot. That's the term for it. So it happened It happened just like 2 weeks ago to Jimmy Crute on the fight card that your shirt is. He got hit in his True that, Jigga. But so Jimmy Crute gets hit right in the side of the knee, right? Bam! And then his foot just goes numb. But this Jimmy Crute guy just keeps going. But in the Sean O'Malley incident, he couldn't. So there's certain ways you can get hit, and you get that drop foot. So calf kicks are new.
What fight was it? You seen it last night? It was this fight because he hit Nate Diaz in the back of his knee, and you seen a couple weeks ago in UFC 263, before the prelims even started or whatever. It was the prelim. Or 262, yeah. Before the main fights even started, it was the prelims. The dude got hit in the back of the knee, and his knee went dead. Like his knee went dead for I think it was 3 hours. They said.
Yeah, Jimmy
couldn't get the feeling back. Yeah, Jimmy Crute. Great fight, but yeah, those leg kicks are a really big impact if you can get them started early, man. And that's kind of what he did to Nate Diaz. And from there, it was just and everyone was always like, Nate Diaz is bleeding. He sucks at fighting. Bro, he has the most scar tissue out of every fighter in the UFC. So, one good punch that slits any of those open, they're going to leak. They're going to leak. And I don't know what it is. Like you said, he's better in the later rounds. He's also better when he's bleeding. Once he starts leaking, he's like...
That's why you don't want to get in a street fight with Nate Diaz. Say you got in a street fight with Nate Diaz, got him clean, knocked him out. The fight's over. He's out. You're waiting there for 5 minutes. Come on, man, get up. Trying to settle it, blah, blah, blah. It's street fight. That's how, you do things. So you're like, all right, I'm going to leave. You get all the way back to your house that's 30 minutes away. You ring your doorbell, and the person that answers is going to be Nate Diaz. And he's like, as soon as you open the door, and you're like, oh, it's like the chicken and Nate from Family Guy. That's how that dude's coming after you.
Man, joining us now, a host of the Rick T podcast. Also, our NBA analyst, Tony K. Brother, how you doing, man?
Woo!
Nate Diaz flex. No, a little higher. He does that high. He shows his ribs like he wants to get hit. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's that Nate Diaz right there. That's that Nate D. But Tony, I know you watched those fights as well. What did you think on it, man? I didn't bring you on a little earlier. Just seen it. You're on mute.
There we go. Sorry, still getting the coffee down today. We're not fully there yet.
Do your thing, man.
They were fun rounds. I texted you in the middle of the Nate Diaz fight, and I was like, he is leaking. And you're like, yeah, bro, he's got those scars. Anytime he gets tapped on them, they just burst open. All the fights last night were good as hell. That one dude, I don't remember his name, was getting his arm torn off. I texted Justin, and he was like, yeah, Dana White just said that dude's arm is broken or something like that.
He didn't tap, though.
His arm was toast.
If his arm was toast. That's what Dana White said.
He was like,
yeah, it was bad.
I was like, oh, my gosh. This guy is mean.
Yeah. It was. All right. Move on to the next one.
Oh, it was a great fight. Moving on to the second fight. Justin, go ahead and say these guys' names so I don't mess it up.
Got Davison Figueiredo and Brian Moreno.
Figueiredo versus Moreno. And this was the second match between them.
Yeah, Figueiredo versus Moreno. This is the second bout between the two of them.
Figueiredo won that first bout between them, correct?
Yes.
So what did you think about the rematch between them? Who did you have? I think you did have Moreno, as well as me and Tony. But I didn't know he was from the Ultimate Fighter, and it came this long way. So just tell us a little bit about that and what you had thoughts on the fights.
Yeah, so there's two things. I don't know if you guys you guys can get the difference of it. There's fight of the night, aka Nate Diaz, and then there's performance of the night, which would be Brian Moreno, I would say.
Easily.
So if you guys didn't know after last night, I mean, it was pretty dang emotional, inspirational, and really awesome to see him win that championship. He's the first ever for Mexico. Viva Mexico, viva la raza. He won that shit for Mexico, man. It's pretty awesome to see him do that, especially against a guy like Figueiredo, who hands down is one of the best fighters to ever do it. The guy, I forget how you say it, and I think he's Brazilian, but he goes by the God of War. Dude's crazy. So anyway, Moreno worked really hard all offseason. You could watch You could watch the first clip, like Jason was saying, and they go back and forth. And then the later rounds, like Moreno's still on his ass. And then he ends up losing. But now this time around, you've seen it was a complete dominant performance. And then even to sub somebody in the UFC, that's why I think Khabib is the most dominant guy, is because I think submissions are the most like brutal and violent way to get somebody out of the ring. I don't think
one thing with submissions is you can't go in there being like, I'm about to get him in a leg lock. Like, it just kind of has to happen. Like, you got to be in the right spot at the right time, and it just got him. You know what I mean? So
that's one thing that like I like about Moreno is he's always pushing towards something else. And if you didn't like see how posed and confident he was in there, like he looked like he was just smiling, bro. He's like that dude couldn't land anything. Bow, bow, bow. Like, you know, they were going at it. It was everything I kind of expected. I knew Moreno was gonna not roll him over. I thought it was gonna go the distance at least. But I'm really glad that he subbed him because it just puts a stamp on it. Like, yeah, I'm the champ. Because if you think about it, like I brought up Khabib didn't really knock people out, bro. He did, but he also, like, most of the time, it was all submissions. Like, he'd have you in a rear naked choke, a guillotine, freaking triangle, like, whatever. And that's, I think, the most, like, crucial way to get your point across. Like, hey, like, you don't want to fuck with me because people will be on the feet with you, and they don't even want to hit the ground, so they're more cautious on the feet. And then once they hit the ground, they're like, oh, you can kind of see in some people's eyes, dude. They started squirming, like. And Moreno's that type of guy. Like,
he's a beast. See, and I don't want to bring this up. I'm not clowning you and Aaliyah. I want to bring this up to show how big of an impact some of these people and some of their emotions have on the game. Last night when Moreno won, Justin literally got in the chat this morning, and he said that win literally brought me and my girl to tears. He was like,
bro.
Yeah, he literally was like, I thought
I'm tear up right now.
I looked away, started to look back. My girl was crying. It made me cry. But that's literally because he won the championship from the Ultimate Fighter. Now he's the champion. He literally like won the fight and he was like calm. And then like it like hit him. And he like dropped to the ground, started crying. Like it was a really emotional fight.
Bro.
Yeah, great. Yeah, me too, bro. It was a great fight, great emotion. Love the game. You can tell that he definitely deserves it. Tony, but what are you feeling about this, man? Figueiredo versus Moreno.
So I didn't catch too much of this fight, but I did see towards the end when he kind of realized that he had won. And it was emotional and it was cool to watch. I didn't get to see too much of the fight. I've been trying to find some clips, but Dana White
has
shut
none of
that
that
shit down.
Yeah, Dana White has none of that, so I don't blame you.
Yeah.
If I find them, I'll definitely send it to you. But that was probably, like Justin said, there's fight of the night, which is the Nate Diaz fight, and then there's performance of the night, which was Moreno. But I don't think Figueiredo is a bad fighter. He's not. No. And he handled that loss more professionally than I probably have ever seen someone just get their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? He got up and was like, you deserve it. This is from Mexico, man. Appreciate you came a long way. Like, David, he handed him the belt. Like, it was real as hell.
Like, think about it. Like, that, he's a true specialist. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he trains day in, day out. Like, he's a crazy specialist. Both of them are. So, for a specialist to take out another specialist, it's like all nothing but, you know, love and respect at that point, especially when it's for the championship.
It was a great fight. Moving on, I easily thought that was probably one of the most interesting fights to watch if it wasn't going to be Nate Diaz. But moving on, Justin, I want to get your take on this one. Adesanya versus Vettori 2, man. They finally got their second matchup, and it was a great one, Justin. So what did you think on this one? Did you have Stylebender winning? Of course you did. But what did you take on it?
Yeah, man. So I kind of got a lot to say about this one. I mean, I'm an Israel Adesanya fan, like through and through, like Stylebender all the way, man. I really love and appreciate the way he fights. I used to watch him kickbox too. Dude was undefeated when he was kickboxing. So he's coming off a loss. He went up to go get the double championship at the light heavyweight.
He didn't want to either.
Against Jan Blachowicz, a big, like, you know, the Polish power. You know, everyone's thinking either Izzy's going to tap this dude or knock him out or run from him like Izzy does. And Jan was trying to knock him out the whole time, but couldn't. They go the distance. Jan wins. You know what I mean? It is technical, but that dude was taking him down the whole time, kind of like Vettori tried to with him. So snooze fest, I'm getting to that. I'm saying people are got to realize with Adesanya, this is the 5th title match that I've watched him defend his title.
He's a Floyd Mayweather of UFC. He plays it by points.
He literally will tell, like, after the fight, he tells him, like, he's got the championship. He's the title holder. Like, he can defend it. He doesn't need to attack. Those people have to come get it from him. Vettori did a good job of keeping him at bay with the jab, but he didn't do much else. His leg was tore the hell up because he didn't switch stances. So, to me, Adesanya easily won that fight because if Vettori would have tried to adapt and tried to switch up his stance or try to throw some different ones, or when he had him up against the fence, maybe throw some body shots, like, he needed to do something more to win the fight. He didn't change his shit up at all. Yeah. And then after the fight, he wants to say that he won. He thinks he won it and was all mad. And
Vettori said that?
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I just want them to get Vettori out of there, man, because, yeah, he's got knockout power, but that's a boring mother trucker to watch.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's a bigger dude. But, bro, all I seen was – and he missed it every time. He maybe clipped with the jab, and then that overhand right, Israel just –
and then he would take Israel down, but literally he was trying to like wrestle with him on the fence. The hardest
morning, brother.
Matthew.
Morning, brother. Jigga Man says, morning, Matt. Morning, Jigga. Jets fans getting along in the chat.
Going here, damn Jet fans.
But, New York Central, get out of here. No, I'm just playing.
So I think he's trying to fight Whitaker because that's the only person. It's the only contender.
Is he? Jason said it perfect. Why is he trying to fight his old ass again? Go for someone different.
But Whitaker's also been talking that smack.
Fight Conor.
Conor is like 40 pounds lighter, bro.
He can go up.
Dude, you see what you better watch what Dustin Poirier's about to do with Conor on July 10th.
Oh, believe me, I got Poirier on that one. I'm not going Conor. Yeah. I just like Conor's like he's a businessman. He's McGregor in the UFC the way he handles the shit talking fest. Like everyone loves to watch up to the fight, and then everyone watched Conor get knocked out, and they're like,
"All right, Conor's been losing fights. You know what I mean? He's been losing fights." The only reason why he's in that position is because he's like a Nate Diaz of the UFC. Just like how Nate Diaz got to come back and fight the number 3 contender, being unranked, and get a 5-round fight with no belt. I mean, like, come on now. Like, if you want to really, like, nitpick at it, you could say, like, that's unfair because there's other guys who are deserving of that shot to go up. Because you know who Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz have to fight, right?
Who?
Usman.
Oh my God!
Usman's that's what I'm saying.
Nate Diaz might as well just stop.
So
Usman will have him bleeding like a motherfucker, bro.
But I mean, it's fun to watch. It's good to see.
Big Blue Jay said the weight class is lame as fuck, bro. He don't want to get smacked around like last time. That's why he doesn't want to go up right now. I mean, he's brutally honest. He's going for the title defense numbers. That's why he's taking his dumbass fights. That's why I said he's the McGregor.
But
he'll run off points, get
the best.
And
I'm telling you. Stylebender is one of the best fighters because he can adapt to almost.
Who did he challenge at the end? What was that guy's name again?
Whitaker.
Yeah. So did you guys hear what he said? He was like, "I'll text you the time and the place. You know why? Because I'm the king, bitch." And then just threw the belt over his shoulder. I love Adesanya, bro, just for that shit.
He's got the flag to him, bro. That was like the same thing. Austin McBride or Austin McBroom, whatever his name last night in the TikTokers versus YouTube. He won his fight versus Bryce Hall, and then went to the edge of the ring, and they're like, "He's calling out the Paul brothers." I was like, okay, it is one thing to talk shit to like a random YouTuber, or random TikToker. I to be honest, I wouldn't want to go with any of the Paul brothers now. One went 8 rounds with McGregor, or not McGregor, Mayweather, and one has like 3.5 knockouts in a row in like 3 months.
Well, hang on. That's because Austin McBroom was hanging out with Jake Paul's next opponent. What's his name? Tyron
Woodley. Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, Tyron Woodley. He was hanging. Yeah, he was hanging out with him, and he was like, "You're just gonna hang with him? I thought we were homies or some shit." And he's like, "I guess not. We can get it right now." And they almost got in like a street fight.
Connor's not coming with no crazy energy. He's off too much proper 12. Too much of that proper 12, my friend.
Connor's gonna bring it, bro. If you get slept like that, like think about it. The first fight, Dustin Poirier got slept by McGregor. Second fight, Poirier sleeps McGregor. And now, who's going to sleep who? It's 1-1. Both people have knocked people out. Like, who's going to win? You know what I mean?
Tony,
Dustin
please
Poirier is going to win, bro.
Oh, I agree on that. Tony, get into the Adesanya Vettori fight before I got to get on Jalen's head. I'm a Paul Brother fan, man.
Damn, I got some sun yesterday. I just realized that.
Some sun yesterday.
Fucking
Adesanya versus
I just fucking I just love Adesanya, man. He's got swag. He's messing with his opponent during halfway through the fight. I think at the end of the fifth, he was like laughing.
Yeah, that was hilarious, bro.
Just kind of toying with him. Yeah, he's just doing his thing, kind of making fun of him.
It's like him
like faking an eye grab.
He's like,
yeah, yeah. He like faked an eye jab because he thought the other guy did and shit.
No, dude, if you've seen the replay, it was like half of his middle finger went inside his socket, bro.
And he kicked him in the nuts hard as shit.
Like, I sorry. He like apologized to the crowd.
He kicked him in the nuts like hard too.
Yeah,
you see that shit?
Yeah,
he went to go kick him in the leg. He's like, bam!
Connor's done, pal. Little J6, you watch Austin. Did you watch the Austin fight? Jake got something coming. God damn, what are you talking about? Austin's he's a better fighter than Bryce. Like that was easy, but damn, bro, Jake. I'll send you some highlights, bro.
All right.
I'll send you some highlights. Jake will fuck him up. It'll be bad. What up, Shy Ace, baby? Welcome to the Rick T podcast, man. But Tony, finish what you were saying. Sorry to interrupt you on that. Our Adesanya Vettori fight. You're good? You saying you were loving Adesanya? One thing that I got on that fight, and I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Jason and you, Justin, on this one. It was a snooze fest fight. But like Justin said, that's what Adesanya does. Adesanya can kind of capitalize on anything that's happened to him, and nothing was really happening. Like everyone's seen the fight. It literally was like two throws, like the whole fight. All he had to do was dodge him, throw a couple. He couldn't land, which made it kind of boring. But dude, there wasn't much to kind of defend himself against. There wasn't much to kind of attack. Like he said, he's the champion. He doesn't need to attack. And it's just kind of the way he fights, man. It's like watching a Floyd fight and thinking he's not gonna run. That he's not gonna sit there and get his points and back up.
That's just literally see it. He just sits there and he looks at them like, come on, and then they'll throw a little something and he dodges it and hits them back a couple times, and then he just does the same thing.
And one thing that I love about Israel is we've seen this before. We've all seen that part or that person, that UFC fighter, Anderson Silva, for example, that has just that smooth movement with them. You know what I mean? Like the leg kicks, the punches, his movement is just smooth. But I tell you not, no one is more smooth than the way Israel Adesanya moves. You know what I'm saying? Even his fakes, bro, when he sits there and just like tools with them, and it's such like a nonchalant fake for both of them, but it looks so good. You know what I mean? He'll literally sit there and just fake jab at you, fake kick at you, and then swipe the shit out of you. And like it knocks the shit out of you. You know what I mean? His fakes are so lethal, you never really know what he's going to throw, which is my reason why I like Israel Adesanya the best. You know what I'm saying? I do think that he is a subpar fighter. I will say that. I don't think he is the best in the UFC. I don't think he's top 3. I'll admit. He's top 3 to watch. I love watching him, but fighting, I feel like there's 3 people that could beat him easily.
Well, I mean, the UFC is stacked, bro. There's a
I agree. That's what I'm saying, though. I don't think he's the greatest, but he's a great fighter. He's just not the greatest in the UFC. Usman whoop his ass, proven. I honestly think, like you said, the weight difference between him and Poirier is different, but I love the way Poirier fights. Poirier is a bad man. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
On the pound-for-pound list for the best fighters in the UFC, the top 4 fighters, I'm pretty sure. Number 1 is Usman. 2 is Khabib. 3, I believe, is Poirier. And then 4, I'm not sure. But
see, and I like that list. And even if you wanted to put him at 4, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't put him at top 3.
He's on that list, for sure.
This man, Jalen. Israel's the best UFC fighter right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. But that was the top 3 fights of UFC 263, Adesanya versus Vettori. Justin Sanchez, our UFC analyst, thank you so much for joining us, brother. We appreciate you for coming on with us, man. Go ahead and give us a nice combo out of here, man. That was our guy, Justin Sanchez, our UFC analyst. Tony, let's get into it, man. Moving on from the UFC topics, getting into some NBA playoff talk, baby. You are an NBA analyst, so I'm really just going to let you kind of handle this. I have the games pulled up. I have the games in the series, what they're scored, what they're tied at, what they're not tied at. And I just kind of want to get your takes and what you think of the series going on forward. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I'm actually going to switch paths a little bit. I want to go ahead and talk about the awards first before we talk about the series.
Please do.
It's nice to be back in my element, though, talking about the NBA and not the UFC. I don't know what the frick I'm talking about when it comes to the UFC. So this will be fun. Let's get it started with the MVP, Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic was named the first Nuggets MVP ever. He is also the first player from Serbia to be selected as the MVP. He joins Dirk Nowitzki and Giannis Antetokounmpo as the MVP winners from Europe. And then another interesting thing is he is the lowest drafted player to be named MVP, with the exception of, and this is actually a question for chat. Does anybody know who the person above him on that list is? So with the exception of who, Jokic is the lowest drafted player to win MVP. I'm going to let y'all answer that in chat. But Eric, I have a question for you.
What's up, brother?
Do you think Jokic deserved this, or do you think it should have gone to Dame?
So, and I love that question. Honestly, I usually never get asked questions like that, but honestly, I love that. I love that Jokic won MVP, not even from me being in Colorado, but me being in Colorado helped that a lot. Me look into it, me understand why he deserves MVP. This is one of the only guys in the NBA to not miss one game this season. It was 10 games less than it was last season, and he still didn't miss any. You know what I'm saying? There's still people that won it. A lot of people were saying Luka should have won it. A lot of people were saying Dame should have won it. There was Steph rumors late on. No one carried their team the way Nikola Jokic carries the Nuggets, and we all know that. You can lose, except for maybe Dame. I will say maybe Dame, but Dame doesn't have the impact on the NBA, on that city, on his team, like the Joker does for Denver and the Nuggets, man. Everyone thought when the Nuggets lost Jamal Murray that they were done. I honestly thought that too. Jello and Tony, the Nuggets fans, said, hey, keep that chin up. Keep that chin up. We still got the Joker on our team. We still got the MVP on our team. And everyone's like, MVP, what? And they just both said, just wait on it. You're going to see what he does. You're going to see the way he handles this. He deserves MVP. And I kind of started to watch him. I started to watch the way he handled himself on the court, off the court, the way the Denver Nuggets their system kind of started to shape towards the end of the season. Them being down 3-0 right now is rough, but I do think Nikola Jokic deserves MVP, no doubt. If this stat is correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say he was one of the only, and this is really Jello's expertise, but didn't you say he was one of the only people to be like top 3 in every category of stats or something like that, like points, rebounds, assists, all that? He's like the only center to be top 3 in all of them. You know what I'm saying? So I easily think Nikola Jokic deserved to be MVP for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we miss Jello on the show, is because Jello can fact check that type of stuff. I believe that's right, though. But to answer the question that I asked chat, did anybody answer in chat?
No, no one answered. Matt Faraci said, I have no clue. Bring the big man back. Jalen said, Luka, yes, he deserves it. Son 4. And I do want to go ahead and pop this up for everyone.
That question is Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. I have a question on the top of you.
Malone. He was actually not selected in the NBA draft.
He wasn't at all?
No, he was unsigned. He was undrafted. Sorry.
Wow. Shai said, I have no clue. But man, Nikola Jokic honestly deserves that shit, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. And Moses Malone actually won it 3 times. So,
Jesus. You got anything else about these awards, Tony? Move on to the next award.
Yes, sir. We won't spend too much time on everything else except for Damian Lillard's award. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
But Tom Thibodeau was named the Coach of the Year.
He's the coach of.
He's the coach of the Knicks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't want to touch base on that one too much. I don't agree. I feel like it could have gone 2 other places. One being Mike Malone, Nuggets. The other one being it's a very biased answer. I'm not gonna lie to you. But then the other one being freaking Steve Nash for the Nets.
Honestly, if it was in my opinion, I'd give it to Doc Rivers out there in Philly.
See, it could go there too. It could definitely go there too. And the Steve Nash answer is a biased answer also for me because I freaking loved watching Steve Nash growing up.
Nate the Great, Spencer Haywood got MVP for the Denver Nuggets. Ooh. Did he? Duh. However, that was when they weren't in the NBA or were they were in the NBA. Gotcha. So it's not considered NBA MVP. You know what I'm saying? I agree with the coach of the year. You're breaking my heart, Tony. Is what you meant. You know my man. You know my name. You know my man's a Knicks fan. You know he's hyped that Malone got that award, and he's excited. Like he said it on the show a couple weeks ago or last week. He said he's excited for what the Knicks have in store for the future. I could see that. 100%.
Yeah.
Dylan said no one thought the Knicks were going to be good, and that's kind of why I feel like he won that. I feel like it could have easily went to the Suns coach too. They just showed little spurts of being good last year in the bubble.
Yeah, but after you said Doc Rivers, that really resonated with me. I think that would have been a good place for that to go too. However, Tom Thibodeau did have the best season the Knicks have had in almost a decade, or probably a decade. So, moving on, Rudy Gobert collects 3rd. You were right, Eric. 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award.
I'm 100% on board with that too. Rudy Gobert is he's a monster in the paint. I wouldn't want to go against him.
Nope. We don't need to talk about that much. That man's a beast. This one you're gonna be happy about. Julius damn Randle. Most improved player. My goodness, did he improve? That is crazy. I was looking at the numbers and it is just absolutely such a great improvement. He just fits well with Tom Thibodeau. He plays well. All of it, all around, Julius Randle took the NBA world by surprise this year.
If it wasn't him, though, who else would have been most improved player? Honestly. This might be a little bit biased too because I only watch certain people, but I like MPJ. MPJ improved a lot from last year to this year for me. Maybe not out of everyone in the NBA, but I just watched the Nuggets a lot.
Yeah, this is one I can't be biased about, though. If I'm going to have to choose, I might say Jason Tatum. Let
me be honest, man. He's always been that damn good. He's always been a baller. Y'all just been sleeping on my boy. Y'all been sleeping on my guy. From Duke, 1 year at Duke, he's been
off.
Baller.
He fell off after the coronavirus and all that happened last year. He fell off. You can't tell me wrong.
No, you're 100% right. He definitely played better this year than he did last year. 100%. His 40, 50-point games this year, I literally was just like, Jason. And now that the season's over and we keep going out the way we do, bro, I'm scared. Because now it's like he knows his potential. He knows his talent. But, like, we can't win. We can't get a damn center. We can't get no help there. So, like, I have a feeling when his contract ends, whenever that is, he's going to want out. Maybe not if sooner. So that makes me mad, dude. It's like, Can we just get some help around this guy to keep him for longer? Like, let's build around this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you guys are about to lose Kemba too, so that's going to be
I'm all right with that. I'm okay.
Yeah. Some people would take him. I would take him here in Denver with Jamal Murray tearing his ACL.
Well, I would love to have him back in Boston, and this is the thing with that. This is why I'm okay with that is, yes, it hurts. It's kind of like a Kyrie situation. It's like, yes, it sucks because, like, you were supposed to be that guy here. We traded for you. We picked you up in free agency, however it may be. And you just didn't end up being that guy. So it's like, as much as I want to hope and, have this delusional perspective over my head, like Jason or Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving, it sucks so bad for the Celtics to lose him. It really didn't suck that bad to lose Kyrie. Yeah, we're not in the same place we were, or not in the same place as the Brooklyn Nets, but we don't have KD and James Harden. You know what I'm saying? We may not be at the same place wherever Kemba Walker goes, but say he goes to Denver or something and Murray leaves. We don't have a Jokic, so he might be balling out next year, but it's because he has better help. I just don't feel like we have the team. And I'm not saying that the Celtics don't have ballers, because we do. Kemba Walker's a baller. Marcus Smart's a baller. Jason Tatum's a baller. Let's not forget about Jaylen Brown, who's been hurt. He's a baller. We just have no centers, and the guys that we have are just not, like, I feel like not clicking together. Like, they all click on their own levels, but they just can't click together, which is a problem.
I completely agree. And I also agree that Jaylen Brown is a bad man. And speaking of bad man on the court, let's talk about our Sixth Man of the Year award here. Jordan Clarkson. My goodness.
Bro, he comes off the bench with like 26 minutes and drops 31.
It's insane. He's absolutely he had a phenomenal year, and he's just still playing well. And I hope to see him in a starting lineup next year because he deserves it.
100% agreed.
We won't spend too much time on that one. I do want to talk about you 100% agree? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 100% agree. I think he might leave, though. Yeah, like you said, though, he's going to want to go get a starting role, so I think he might leave.
Well, he deserves it, so.
Easily.
We'll see what happens. Moving on to the last one. Or, no, two more. Sorry. We'll go to the NBA Sportsmanship Award. Drew Holiday from the Milwaukee Bucks won the Sportsmanship Award. It's almost like a participation trophy, and you acted like a good kid all year. Here's
like, great. Thank you for shaking everybody's hands after the game. Here's a trophy.
Exactly. That's exactly what that is. Love to see it, though. Love to see good sportsmanship. And then Damian Lillard named Teammate of the Year. See, this is where I wish they had another type of MVP trophy, but obviously not. It's not called the second-rate MVP or anything crazy like that. I wish they just had like just an all-around stud trophy. You carried your team. You did all the work. Here's at least like some recognition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% agreed. Let me ask you a question. For the NBA MVP, so like how Nikola Jokic just won, who votes on that, the fans or the players in the league?
So fans, players on the league, coaches association.
They all vote on it?
Yeah, but mainly the ones that count the most is the coaches, the executives, and the players.
Okay, so that being said, I was going to say maybe have like a different kind of MVP vote. Like if the actual MVP vote is voted on by the fans, maybe have like a players voted MVP, because I think he might have won that easily. But I want to go ahead and touch on something Lil J said, and I thought the same thing when you said that he won Good Teammate Award. I love Damian Lillard. I think he's a great – I think he's a good teammate. But like that's a poor title for that award. Like you said, that's such a bad like name for that award. Great Teammate Award goes to Damian Lillard, and everyone's like, he's a dick, but he's a good like team player, but he's not like a hey, come over to my house for barbecues. I want to get the game plan ran around so the whole team's on the same page. Like he's not that type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
So it's a weird name for that title.
It is, and I I don't like it. I don't like him winning that. I wish they would name it something else. Like the people's MVP, because I'm pretty sure if the MVP was just about the fans, Dame would have won that. Jokic would have won that.
Steph, weirdly, or Steph, some dumb shit. It would have been stupid.
And so there should be a secondary MVP that's just for the fans. You know what I mean?
How do you know what? How do we know what? Weird flex, J Money time. It's really
weird. All right, let's talk about these games now.
This team probably nominated him for the award, whatever. But yeah, man, let's get into these games, Tony. Let's talk about it. We don't really need to talk about when the games are. I'll go ahead and discuss that after we talk about the actual series. But I want to talk about the series itself and what you thought or what you think about each team and what's going on with the how it's breaking down. You know what I mean? So we'll start off with this, man. Clippers versus Jazz. Clippers are up 2-1 on the Jazz. Tony, how are you feeling about this? What do you think is going to happen?
I'm going to correct you right there. Utah leads 2-1.
Does it?
Clippers, and I think they're going to win out.
Utah leads 2-1. Sorry about that.
No worries. Utah leads 2-1. I think the Jazz are going to 4-1 this. Paul George is just scared of the moment. Kawhi Leonard's not playing like the year he won Finals MVP, or even the year he won MVP. He's not playing to that level. He's getting shut down. I mean, obviously, you have the defensive player of the year guarding the rim for the Utah Jazz. So,
big man, Rudy.
Easy bucket.
Rudy. Every time I say Rudy Gobert, I'm going to do the Nate Diaz flex. Rudy! This flex is so weird, man. J Money said, I hate the Jazz. Why? They're an exciting team to watch. I can understand if you're like Tony and you're a big Nuggets fan, but this team is an exciting team to watch. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Jazz have some talent on that team, but let's not go ahead and sleep on the Clippers. The Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, they have some talent on that LA team as well. They are down 2-1, but that's not the end of the line for them. I think we all know Kawhi is going to fight till the series is over. I remember a couple years ago when he was in Toronto, literally me and Tony, you were on FaceTime. Who was he playing? The 76ers. They're on FaceTime. 3, 2, 1. He's in the corner. Tony's stream is, I think, 4 or 5 seconds ahead of mine, right? So I'm like, oh, my God, what's about to happen? I'm on FaceTime with Tony. Tony goes, oh! And then he just quiets down and watches me. And I'm like, what the fuck's about to happen? So I turn my head to my TV, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, shit, Kawhi Leonard. And I see him shoot it. Bounces on the rim, and I'm like, oh, he fucking missed. And it drops in, and I literally just claps to my back. Tony started dying laughing, bro. That was one of the craziest things I think I ever experienced on FaceTime. Wish it was on stream so everyone could have experienced it with me. But man, like that being said, I don't think Kawhi Leonard's gonna let this just go down 4-1. You know what I mean? I just don't see that happening with Paul George and the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard. It's just not that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Paul George is not a problem right now, though. Kawhi Leonard, yeah, he's a problem, but you're dealing with Donovan Mitchell, who can put up a 50-piece at any moment, and you're dealing with the defensive player of the year who can block every shot known to man that goes up and even anywhere near the rim, and then you're working with the sixth man of the year, too, Jordan Clarkson, who's a walking bucket in the secondary lineup, and the Clippers secondary lineup can't hold him.
He's a walking bucket. Like you said, he's a walking bucket. I believe last game he had 21 minutes, 14 points, somewhere around there. So great game for Jordan Clarkson. Easily deserves sixth man of the year. That's definitely a hard team for the Clippers to face up against. Anyone in the NBA to face up against. But the Clippers specifically being that they're so, I believe, overhyped, in my opinion. I think every LA team in NBA right now is overhyped as hell. Lakers, the Clippers. You want to go to baseball, they're a little bit overhyped, but they can kind of back it up. You know what I'm saying? You go to football, they're a little bit overhyped. We're going to see what they can do this year. It's just a city in LA. I think it'll be exciting to see what the Clippers can do, though. Nate the Great said, I don't hate the Jazz as a Nuggets fan, mainly because I met one of them or one of their former coaches. So that's what I'm saying, Nate. You have a personal connection with the Jazz somehow, some way. I don't hate the Jazz because I really like D Wade, and he's part owner. That's my connection to them. I love D Wade, one of my favorite all-time players. He's part owner of the Jazz, which means I can't hate the Jazz. You know what I'm saying? It's like a
Did you see
LeBron.
him coaching Donovan Mitchell?
Yes, that's what I love about it, though, dude. He's literally getting involved with that team. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan is the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. All you see is him shitting on his players. You see him on the sideline, like smacking his players in the back of the head for stupid shit. But you see Dwayne Wade out there getting involved with his players, teaching them, showing them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Love it 100%. I love what the Utah Jazz have going on there. And I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of this series and what they can do the rest of, kind of Donovan Mitchell's career, whether Jordan Clarkson stays or leaves, Rudy Gobert stays or leaves. Like, I'm excited to see that team. Moving on to the next game. Actually, BWJJB. I'm just going to call you PJAR4. That seems easier. Want to become famous? No, I don't. Get out of my chat. Moving on, man. Dude, another one. Look at this. Want to become famous? Want to become famous? Want to become famous? What is my manager doing? What?
Y'all not welcome.
Want to become famous? Want to become famous?
Yo,
what the hell is going on? Justin, what are you doing? Did you buy?
Justin, get these guys out of here.
See, and this is where I regret firing my bot. I feel like my bot could have been like, I just watched UFC. Get out of here. And just all the spams would have just been like, sleep. You know what I'm saying? But moving on to the next series, Nets up 2-1 on the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Tony, how you feeling about this one? This is honestly an exciting series to watch. It gets kind of carried away at some points, but what are you thinking on it?
This one, I was super confident that the Nets were just going to roll them over, but it doesn't look like Antetokounmpo is just going to take that. So,
oh, sir.
My final prediction for this series is Brooklyn wins 4-2. I think the Bucks steal another one. Honestly, I think it might be today. I think they steal the game today with Harden still out.
You think Milwaukee goes up, or they tie it up 2-2 right now and then just kind of flounder?
Yeah.
I like it, honestly, and I really didn't think too much on this one. But now, like, thinking back on the games that I've watched of this series and kind of looking at how they're only up 2-1. It's not up 3-1 or, 2-3 to nothing or 2-0. They have that one game under their belt, and without James Harden, it's going to be a problem. I said on Twitter the other day to you, actually, you were commenting on someone's post and you said, what's going to happen with this series? What's going on with the Nets? What's going on with Milwaukee? And I commented back and said, I think it's honestly easier for the Nets to play without James Harden. You know what I'm saying? I think Milwaukee game planned when they found out they were playing the Nets, they game planned for 3 people. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, KD. We got to cover those 3 bases. And without one of those 3 bases missing, it's kind of like we were game planning for an extra person and that extra person's not there. So, like, what do we do? They kind of seem lost out there on the court. They're kind of just running around looking for James Harden back at the 3-point line, and he's not there. Kyrie Irving's up and under. Kevin Durant's hitting mid-ranges, hitting dunks. You know what I mean? It's just kind of ridiculous. But I agree 100% with you. I think they do slip another one in there. It may be today, maybe not be today. But I do think Milwaukee goes ahead and gets a second win in there just because of who Giannis Antetokounmpo is. But I think Milwaukee will lose this one 4-2 to the Brooklyn Nets. So I agree 100% with that, Tony. Great take. Matt Faraci saying, I'm thinking 4-2 as well. That was a great take, Tony. Honestly, that was very well said and a very good point on why. Had a lot of people thinking right. A lot of people thinking right, man. But moving on to the third series going on right here. Hawks down 2-1, or Hawks down 1-2 against the 76ers, Tony. So moving on to this one, what are you thinking about this one? How do you feel about, Trae Young, Joel Embiid both doing their thing, but the Hawks being down 1-2?
So Trae Young is, he was a menace to society for all of the last part of the season, and then in that first round as well. But I don't see them winning another game, to be honest. Just based off of their last game. If some energy changes up, maybe they steal another one. But honestly, I see this one going 4-2 as well.
Ooh, 4-2. You think Philly going up? Atlanta's going down. Honestly, I see that. Everyone loves Clint Capella, the center for the Atlanta Hawks, but he is no Joel Embiid. Everyone loves Trae Young, But let's be honest, at this point in their careers right now, he's not Ben Simmons. And I'm not a big Ben Simmons fan, but I will say where they're at in their careers, it seems like Ben Simmons is a little further along than Trae Young. Trae Young is only in his second year, so he has time to grow. He has a lot of great potential. But at this point, Clint Capella is no Joel Embiid, and Trae Young is no Ben Simmons, which I think that's a big problem matchup. And I think that's where it's kind of showing. You know what I mean? They can beat him down low and they can beat him up high. Everyone knows Trae Young is a showman, so he has flashes of light. He has flashes of burst where he comes out and he takes over. And that's why they have that one win. But man, I don't think Trae Young. I don't think the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think this is their year. But I do see them being a great team in the coming years. I don't think people should be sleeping on them, thinking that they're just going to be trash. If they can get one more dynamic person, one more person that can score a bucket and play a little bit of defense, that team will be easily a top 3 team in the East, I think. Honestly, and I'm saying over the Celtics. If they can get one more player before the Celtics get one more player, they're easily better than the Celtics right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Matt Faraci said 76ers 4-1. Trae Young is basically all the Hawks got. That's what I'm saying, and that's real. That's very real. 4-1. I think the series honestly ends 3-4. I'm gonna go ahead and say Game 7 just because that's what I want. That is a little bit of a biased answer. If I'm gonna be realistic, I think it'd probably be 4-2. But I want a Game 7. I want Atlanta to fight in there. They kind of have that grime on that team. I think all Atlanta teams do at some point or another, whether it's the Falcons, whether it's the Hawks, whether it's the Braves, they all just kind of have that fight in them. It's the city, it's Atlanta, it's what they're known for, is that grit. So I don't know. I just maybe see them scratching in there, getting a Game 7. But I think we'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting take, man. Lil J6, appreciate you for agreeing with me, bro. I'm just speaking facts out here. Moving on to the last and final series of the NFL or NBA playoffs, Tony. And I know you put your head down immediately. This is not going in your team's favor. Suns are up 3-0 on the Nuggets, man. Tony, what is going on with the boys right now? What is going on with the NBA MVP? Is Devin Booker and Chris Paul too much? What was your takes from this? Let's hear it. Be straight honest. Let's go.
Well, first of all, if you're watching, I apologize for what I'm about to say. But the Nuggets just don't want to be here at all. They don't want to play. The only person that wants to play is Jokic right now, and maybe Monte Morris. Sorry, brain doesn't work. But honestly, I hope I'm wrong. I see the Nuggets getting swept today at 6 o'clock. I hope I'm wrong.
I see my Nuggets getting swept today at 6 o'clock. I'm dying, bro. Honestly,
I'm flustered talking about this.
Honestly, Tony, I feel bad. Honestly, because I've always said it, and I have a right to say this being a Cowboys fan and a Celtics fan. I would rather my team low-key suck and not make it than to get this far every single year and to get dropped off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks. It's got to hurt, bro. It's like, you guys are a good team, but what improvement are you making? Are you guys finally getting over that hill? No, we can't get over that hill. We're dropping back down, and then you guys make it up the very next year, maybe lose Jamal Murray, drop down a little bit, but keep pushing, get an MVP. You get higher and higher. Down 3-0 to the Suns. And let's be honest, the Suns are a great team this year, but bro, have they been the laughingstock of the NBA for the last 2 to 3 years? They've really had nothing, nobody, in this year that kind of just making an outstanding run, and they're finally up 3-0 on the Denver Nuggets, man. So, Tony, I do agree with you. I think that it's going to be a 4-0 series sweep for the Suns today at 6 o'clock. But I don't think Denver's a bad team, and I don't think that the fight is over for them. I don't see Denver being the team to just lay down and kind of just take this 4-0 series sweep. But I'm not a big Denver fan like you are. You know what I mean? You know your team better than I know my team. So let me ask you, do you think Denver has a chance to win this game tonight, or do you think it's just over? Do you think they've given up all hope and kind of lost speculation of winning?
So one thing I've learned over the past couple of years from this team is that when you expect them to just lay down, they're not going to. For example, last year we had Morris getting in the face of Paul Millsap and saying, "Get ready to go home for the Clippers. Get ready to go home. We're up 3-1." And then look what happened. But this isn't that same team. We don't have Jamal Murray on the court giving us that fire. Right now, we're just trying to lean on MPJ, who wasn't supposed to be in this role this early. Next year was supposed to be his first year actually getting relied on and us looking to him for mandatory buckets. Right now, all we have is Joker. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to say no, just based off of the way they've been playing. And Mike Malone even said it after game 2 and game 3. There's just no heart. So
just no heart, man. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is, man. That is what we're talking about with the NBA playoffs, man. You guys heard it here first. Suns up 3-0 on the Denver Nuggets. Hawks down 2-1 under the 76ers. Nets up 2-1 over the Bucks, and Clippers are down 1-2 under the Jazz, man. So that is the NBA playoff talk, hosted by me and your boy Tony Cave, our Rick T podcast NBA analyst. We're gonna get to a quick commercial break, and on the other side of commercial break, we are talking some NFL offseason, baby. Some moves that have been made, some drama going off, and the season is getting closer, which means fantasy is getting closer, man. So enjoy this commercial break. It is a little bit longer commercial break, but I think you're really going to enjoy this, man. One of my favorite players kind of breaking some things down. So check this quick video out of Penei Sewell talking with offensive lineman guru, telling him kind of how he does his thing and, you know, what he's about, man. So check this out, bro.
Let's talk about that motivation, that aggression. We're going to watch your film now. And this is the first play of 2019. So you've played as a true freshman in 2018. You got hurt. You came back, obviously started. First play of the season against Auburn, SEC opponent. You're trying to go out there and start something fast. The first play of the game, it's a screen. Did you script this play? Was this, you knew this was the first play up already?
So the first play was actually something else. I think it was going to be a play action or something. And then I was like, I was kind of bummed about that. But then literally, as we're walking like out the tunnel and the board was right there, Coach Mirabal comes up. He's like, man, screw that. Come here. And then he just wrote, this is the play. And it was sniper left. And
sniper, okay.
Yep. So it was just me going out and really, I guess, sniping a little dude.
So here you are. You got him. First play of the game. Got yourself a pancake. I mean, nothing better. And there's multiple pancakes in this play. Your left guard got one too. So you're in your stance here. Part of the reason why this play happens is your ability to get out of your stance and get past this defensive end. What do you think as far as your technique? You do swim him here, but you know, were you worried about how you're able to get through that? Because this is if you get held up a tiny bit, right? You don't make this play. No.
Just like you said, yeah. If I get caught in any type of traffic, the play's blown up. So knowing kind of one and watching film on him all week, just so my technique is a kick one time, show, and then just a release underneath. And just like right here, he kind of almost grabbed me a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was kind of natural for me to kind of, I guess, use the swim move. But yeah, just whatever it takes to get out and get out on that block, you have to do. So I try to do that right there and finish the play.
And you were talking about running over people. Here we go. So here's a better angle of it. You can kind of see right here. So you set 1-2, you swim. He does try to grab you. You swim him, and then you get out here. What are you thinking about right there? You're lining number 6 up.
Yeah, right here, I'm like, all right, run through him. But then as it kind of went on, right there, you see how I use my left leg to plant. I was like, do not miss. so my mind throughout the whole thing until that one step, I was like, yeah, I'm running through this dude easy. And then I was like, the second thought was like, don't miss, and I didn't miss. So
it's much more this Auburn game because there's a lot of fun in this game. And again, did you feel yourself get up for different opponents? Because, you know, in a Pac-12 schedule, you're not maybe playing as many teams with like pro-level players.
Yeah.
Do you get up more for a game against Auburn?
Yeah, I definitely felt that. And also, I was pretty young at the time, so going up against an opponent like this with all the hype around, I was definitely up more against these guys than, let's say, like Oregon State or Stanford.
So here's another screen here. So you get out, you don't get out easier because the guys can come to you. But I want to talk about your processing here. So you're looking inside, back to out. When you decide to go to the next level, because this is pretty impressive for you to be able to stop. Okay, I can't block that guy. I'm gonna go attack the second level, the third level, really.
Yep. So I knew that the safety was my guy, counting for the number 3 from the corner to the 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So I knew he was that far. He was pretty deep. So I stopped to check if there's any inside threat or if anybody coming to hit red faster. I checked. didn't see nobody, and went right up and then hit him and hit 20 in the mouth. Just like that.
It's like you're not supposed to be able to stop and start like this. Let's watch it from another angle. Here we go.
Yeah, I was really looking for 33, but he kind of shifted in too far, and then, I checked that, and then turned, and then get upfield.
Did you have to learn how to hit someone in this explosive way? Because a lot of this comes down to technique. You have to hit with the same foot and same shoulder. You can see the hip explosion here as well. Do you have to learn how to finish guys like this?
I think it goes back to being on the island. So when I was on the island, I was a pretty young dude. I was probably like 10 years old, and I was going against 14, 13-year-olds that were pretty big, like twice my size, maybe even 3 times my size. And so kind of getting blown up like that first, you're just learning like how they hit you, and you don't want to be on the other end of that. So kind of growing up and having that, I guess, that childhood of playing on the island helped me learn how to hit like that.
So you talk about aggression. We've seen 2 screenplays now that have been great. Same game, Auburn game. First drive of the game, you're down at the inch line, right? I mean, the ball's probably on the goal line right here. I think this is 4th down as well, right? 4th down, you guys are trying to get the ball in the end zone. Talk about aggression here. Look at 58. So you check. It's a zone play.
This is not even my guy. So the funny part is 27, Jake Breland, he got number 4 outside.
Okay.
Me and Throck is supposed to triple to 20.
Yeah.
And so, I'm supposed to go straight to 20, but I don't know. I had this feeling that he was coming real fast. Like, he was just coming too fast for my liking. So I just hit the brakes, and I was like gonna chip him. I didn't think I hit him like this, but I was just gonna chip him and come back out to 20. But then, it was just, we scored.
So does Coach Romero give you a missed assignment here? Like a pancake and a missed assignment?
I don't think he did, but I hope not, because I kind of made a hole for the team. But yeah,
because you're right here. I mean, Shane would have had a tough time blocking this guy.
Yeah, no, he was coming downhill fast, and Shane was not in the best because he was trying to get off.
So you blasted a guy that you weren't even supposed to hit, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. So my eyes, you can see my eyes. My eyes are tracking for 20 right here. Boom. And then I see him shooting the gap, and it just turns to him, and I just,
What do you do with your inside hand here?
Yeah, so that inside hand was just for any help, and any help for that, say that D tackle comes out towards me, so that's help for Shane. But then I guess it was help my eyes turn back quick enough too.
When you're double teaming here with Throck with 54, what's your key to know when he has the guy secured? Because obviously if he comes right now inside, you have to help him. Yeah. But when do you know, like, okay, let's go back a tiny bit. When do you know, what's your key telling you, like, okay, he's got him, I can go to the second level now?
So you can see number 3's hip kind of in the screen right there.
Yeah.
As soon as I see it go away, any type right there, that's my indicator to go upfield, and that Throck is just going to big boy him out.
And then 24 shove you afterwards? Oh, no, you got
I got rolled over because I was trying to come back to 20, and I got rolled over from the backside linebacker.
This is like,
boom, and then,
33 had no idea what was happening. This is one of those times where I think the coach will not give you MA because it works out well. Because 20 is in man-to-man coverage right now. He's not even looking at you.
No, so that was good, and just knowing that pressure from 33 and the speed that he was coming at, I had to come back.
He was coming hard.
And the goal line too, so everything happens that fast.
It does happen that fast. Let's watch another run block from this game here. Okay, let's talk about this. So this is outside zone here, and you know that as a tackle, this is a tough block because the defensive end could come inside, right? That's what you kind of don't want. So how do you tell yourself to play with confidence in trying to get this guy to reach out with you?
So just kind of watching film throughout the whole week, and knowing that the DNs really want to stay and contain the whole time. Like, that's the number one thing for them. They did not want to lose contain. So in this play especially, I wanted to threat that. I wanted to think that I'm coming for that edge. And so my first step was pretty wide, and you see it makes him turn. So the moment he turns, I'm grabbing that near shoulder he gives me right there, boom. And now I'm using my inside hand against his momentum and just using that inside hand just to drag him out.
I think to me, the impressive part is the sellout to go get him, because you can see here the left guard is you have no help inside, right? So you're on an island, and you know that if this guy goes right now inside, you're screwed. The ball's not even handed off yet. So the confidence to watch on film, hey, if I widen a little bit, he's widening with me, and it makes this giant hole right here. And here goes Riddell. When you watch this back on film, when you see your whole offensive line, everyone gets a plus on this play. Everyone has a great block. What does it do for your unit?
It's like that, I guess, unsaid competition. And just like every time after a game and we see everybody doing good or like everybody got a good grade, we just kind of forget about that, but like see who has the highest and be like, that's the standard. So from there on, we just kind of try to one-up each other from there and try to be better the next game.
Not to throw a running back under the bus here, but there's an unblocked guy he's running to. Yeah. He could have gone up the seam, up the hash. What are you saying in the film room to each other, or do you go talk to Verdell after this and say, hey man, up the seam is where to go? Like, what's your response when you see a play like this? Look, it's well blocked, right? There's a huge opening of the middle of the field, and he runs right into the unblocked corner.
No, I don't say none to him. At the end of the day, everybody's responsible for their own craft and their own thing. So, and also, I trust CJ 100%. So at the end of the day, I'm just there for support. But he knows what he has to fix on, so I'm just there to, again, for that support.
From the field to the big leagues. Bang Moody from the 3, I'm like KD. Number 1 draft pick, you should pick me. You ain't considered the GOAT if you don't got a ring. Gotta get yellow like Brady throwing it to AB. My team a home run with more stars than Yankees. Now we getting cocky. Had to put my goals on ice like Sidney Crosby. Now they can't stop me. Got my swing on the back. Put my team on my back. You can kick all the games, all the stats and all the facts. This ain't Stephen A. or Max. Too sharp to get skipped, and you can't dispute that. It's a duck put back. If you ever take a L, then we gotta run it back.
And we are back with the Rick T podcast, season 2, episode 8. What's up? Oh, chat. Jays, baby. Jays, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. You already know the real Jays y'all ever seen in your life with the little certificate saying how real they are. Don't play me. We are back, baby. But like I was saying, we're back with the Rick T podcast, season 2, episode 8, with your boys Eric Holmes and Tony Cave. Man, we're moving along into the NFL talk. Man, we had some fun talking about UFC 263. Had some fun talking about the NBA playoffs, NBA upcoming offseason stuff. But now we're getting into the NFL offseason straight up, bro. And there's a lot of news going on. There's a lot of stuff I want to ask you guys, and there's a couple questions, a couple trivia questions that I have for you guys as well, man. So I'm starting off with this, man. Julio Jones for a second rounder, please, is what I'm calling this one. Julio Jones was traded for a second rounder and a fourth rounder, I believe. And DeAndre Hopkins had a lot to say about it, though. He said, I was only coming off of first team all pro, so I kind of figured I might only go for a second round. But I was surprised a guy like Julio Jones would only go for a second rounder. He also said, oh, Jesus, let me move this. I just can't see anything. I would like to see a first-round pick that can do what me and Julio do ourselves, man. So, Tony, I just kind of wanted to touch base on that. Do you think that maybe or both Hopkins and Julio should have went for a first-rounder? And then the second question I have for you is, do you know any first-round receivers, whether it was last year or this year, that can do what those two are doing?
I'll answer the second question first. No, I do not. But I have a counter question for you. Why the hell did the Packers not go for him?
That's honestly a great question. I think the Packers are they're dumb. They're Houston in disguise. Swear. They don't really know. They don't even have an owner. They have a majority of like the team that just kind of pitches in and owns it together. They don't have a majority owner. I think that's a big problem for them.
Yeah, Rodgers has been sitting there begging for more weapons. You know, Devontae Adams can't do it all by himself.
Facts. Man, I think it's kind of crazy to see him say this. Honestly, I agree with you on that second question. I don't think any first-round receivers can do what these guys are doing. No CeeDee Lamb, no Jerry Jeudy, no Justin Jefferson. All three are outstanding receivers that I would love to have on my team. But they just are not doing what Julio and Hopkins are doing. And I said it myself. Hopkins, I would have easily gave up a first-round pick for. I'm surprised they didn't just hold out until they got one. I think one team would have budged at least. But Julio, I said a couple weeks ago on the show, I don't think he's worth a first-round pick. Julio is Julio, but with all the health issues that he's had and with the season that he's kind of coming off of, is he worth the first-round pick? I think we're going to kind of need to see him play first to see if he's going to kind of be worth that first-round pick. But I think the Tennessee Titans pulled that trigger and said, we're going to find out when he's on our team. We don't want to wait until he's on somebody else's team to find out if that was a good trade for them. We want to do it ourselves, and we're going to go ahead and pull this. We're going to give him a second rounder, and we're going to go ahead and call it a day. And I don't think that was a bad trade for them at all. And honestly, I don't think it was a bad trade for Atlanta as well, because they have their number one in Calvin Ridley. I showed you guys last week what he does without Julio, and I think Matt Ryan will be fine without Julio. But I don't know, man. You got anything else on this Julio take, Tony? I'm tired of talking about Julio. I just want to see what he does on the field. Honestly. One more thing, man. Julio Jones explains the math behind his choosing number 2 this year. The wide receiver who turned down number 11 from A.J. Brown said that 1 + 1 is 2, and 11 times 2 is 22, Derrick Henry's number. It's a reminder that defenses have to deal with all 3 of them this year. So, I don't know. I mean, it might just be Julio might be crazy. But I think it'll be interesting to see how they have to deal with Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio. But let's get into something a little different. And I'm hype about this. Did Mama Elliott stop feeding Zeke? That's my question, man. Dak Prescott's wondering the same thing. He said he's in the best shape of his life and looking fast. And if you guys have seen the offseason videos of Zeke, it low-key looked just like Tony Pollard. Like he looked so slim and so just elusive. It was crazy, man. So, Tony, let me ask you, man. Zeke, I think this is his 5th or 6th year. He has 3 rushing titles in his career. But we all know, let's not beat around the bush. He had a horrible year last year without Dak. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get through the line. He couldn't get past the linebackers. That being said, do you think that Zeke, maybe if he is slim and faster and does what he does in the Dallas Cowboys offense, can stay, healthy and moving? Do you think that he can maybe win that rushing title once again?
So I said it all last year. He can't do anything without Dak, and now that Dak's back, I think we're going to see that come into effect. I'm going to rock with Zeke this year now that Dak is back, and I think he's going to actually put up a fight against Derrick Henry for that rushing title.
I honestly 100% agree with you. Dak's not a liar, and Dak's saying that Zeke looks slimmer, he looks faster, and I've seen the videos of Zeke doing his training. He looks really, really, really good. I love it. I've never seen Zeke look this way before, and he already has 3 rushing titles under his belt. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with you and say that I'm going to go ahead and ride with Zeke because Dak is back and because of the stuff that they've shown that they can do together in the past. And I'm going to go ahead and trust what Dak is saying that Zeke is a little smaller and a little faster and doing his thing. I'm going to go ahead and ride out with it, and I'm excited to see what my Dallas Cowboys have in store this year. We will see them on September 9th to start off the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think that's going to be a wild game. I like I said, I have us losing that one. But it's Dak's first game off of injury, and it's the Bucs' first game off of a Super Bowl title. So they kind of put all the walls against us, but we'll go ahead and take it and handle it and move on like men. But moving on to the next subject, man. Odell Beckham 2.0. Can Odell come back stronger than ever, man? Jarvis Landry said he's even better than he was last year. And Odell, if you've seen Odell before he got hurt last year, it was almost better than he was when he was in New York. Odell was mean. I seen Odell just take over games last year with Baker. Him and Baker finally connecting on the same level. So, Tony, my question to you is, do you believe Jarvis Landry on this one now? Not believing Dak, saying that Zeke's getting slimmer. Do you believe that Jarvis Landry is telling the truth about Odell Beckham Jr., saying that he's even better this year than than he was last year?
Yeah, Juice is blowing smoke.
Juice is blowing smoke. Honestly, I think that's what these two do. I think it's a little different with Zach and Zeke because I feel like they'd both be genuine and they're going to tell the truth, whether one's slacking or not. But I feel like Juice is always going to have his boys back no matter what. I think you're right. I think he's saying Odell's better than ever. He's better than he was last year, yada, yada, yada. We all know Juice isn't the number one, so does Juice really want to go ahead and see Odell better than he was last year? I don't know. I
just don't think Odell's going to stay healthy this year. And I could be completely wrong. So whatever I say about football, don't base your fantasy team off of. I have not won a fantasy league for the 10 years I've been doing them. Do not base your fantasy league off of what I say, but I think Odell's going to get hurt and it'd be a waste of a fantasy pick in my opinion.
Yeah. Trust me on the fantasy stuff. I'm not picking Odell either. I wouldn't pick Odell if he's sitting there in the 5th, 6th round, just, kind of smiling at you. Go ahead and take him, put him on the bench, see what he does the first 4 or 5 weeks. then maybe you can toss him in as a slot receiver or wide receiver in your fantasy lineup. But yeah, Tony's 100% right. Do not take this guy early. Do not take this guy as your receiver 1 or receiver 2. He is just not there yet. We're going to have to see what Odell has to do. We both agree that Juice is blowing smoke out his ears, man. Moving on, man. Fields QB1, man. Bears wide receiver Darnell Mooney on Justin Fields' deep ball. He said it's the very first one that he threw up to me. I was smiling mid-route. Bears coach Matt Nagy also said that he has that mentality to rip your heart out, which honestly, I think we've seen that since QB1 on Netflix, to Georgia his freshman year, to Ohio State to finish out his college career. I think we've seen that this guy has a great deep ball and that this guy has the mentality of just a dog. So, Tony, let me go ahead and ask you, man, are you surprised at anything that these guys are saying? Did you already expect that Justin Fields would be quarterback 1 and none of this is surprising to you?
No, not at all. I mean, you have this position battle going on for the past, 2 years in Chicago? And now we're going to turn around and act like they drafted this guy just to put him on the bench? That's absurd. You're going to start a guy who comes out here and he wins football games. We saw him at Ohio State. He can win his fair share of football games. And he didn't have the easiest schedule. So he's not one of the guys like Zach Wilson. We can say, oh, he didn't really play too many people in college. He didn't really play NFL quality defenses. Yes, he did. So we can go ahead and we can just assume that he's going to be QB1.
Matt Ferracci, 64. Fields needs to be QB1. Dalton is over the hill. Me as a Dallas fan, I've been known that, boy. Dalton he has great potential in his past. But, bro, the past is the past. This is the present. The future's coming up. You know, he's not included in any of this. I don't really know why the Bears signed him, gave him $10 million, and guaranteed that he'd be quarterback 1, and then drafted Justin Fields, traded up in the first round to get him. I don't know. The Bears, everyone's saying that the Bears fixed their quarterback problem when they could have got Mahomes, and they ended up taking Trubisky. Everyone's saying that they fixed it. I think they did fix it in the aspect of talent, but did they fix it in the aspect of how dumb they are in their coaching staff, how dumb they are in their front office, how they handle things, their perspective on certain things in the NFL? I just don't know if they fixed any of that. The Bears are really confusing to me, and the Bears kind of throw me off with the way they do things. So I do think Justin Fields will be quarterback 1. I think he deserves to be quarterback 1. But I don't know about all this. His deep ball is the greatest I've ever seen. I was smiling mid-route, and he has a mentality to rip his heart out because we've all known that. We want to know something new about Justin Fields. You know what I mean? We want to know something that we haven't seen, that we don't already know about this kid. We've been watching him since his junior year in high school. We know damn near everything about this guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm not surprised either. I'm not surprised by any means about all this.
I think his first year, the Bears, and I can say this because I know the Broncos are going to be trash this year. I know they're going to be trash this year. The Broncos are going to have an all right defense, but I no longer am just going to be biased with the Broncos. I'm going to give my good takes and my honest opinion. And Justin Fields needs to ride the shoulders of a great defense, and the Bears didn't really focus on their defense. I want to see the Bears get back to the Brian Urlacher days. You know, back when the Bears and the Ravens had the best defenses in the league, and you did not want to play them.
Yeah, the early
get back to that. Yeah, I want to see them get back to that. And I didn't see any great moves this year for defense on the Bears. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I might have missed something.
Oh, I catch you 100%, and I'm catching the drift you're putting out. I completely agree with you. I think he needs to have a great defense to be a great quarterback, and that's kind of what he's shown his whole career. Is at Ohio State, that defense was, top two and not 2. So they were definitely the top defense in the or college football, besides maybe Alabama. In high school, he had a good defense. You know what I'm saying? And when he went to Georgia, he had a great defense. So it's like now, how good of a quarterback is he going to be if he doesn't have a great defense? So I completely agree with you. I think the Bears need to have a great defense if they want to be anything in the NFL. I think they'll take over that division easily if Aaron Rodgers isn't there. But my thing is just, I don't know. Tony, tell my friend Dalton that y'all won't be good next year. This man thinks y'all going to get Aaron or Watson and go to the Super Bowl.
Watson, hell no, never. That's not going to happen. That got thrown out the water got thrown off the drawing board when all that stuff happened with him. The Aaron thing, we have like a 20% chance of getting Aaron Rodgers. And
I think Vettori has a higher chance of getting him than you guys do.
Yeah, and that's still giving us credit, the 20%. I don't think we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. I think we're going to rock with Drew Lock this year, and we're going to rely on our defense heavy.
Drew Lock.
Heavy.
Drew.
We finally have a healthy defense for the first time in 2 years. So that'll be good to watch. That'll be fun to watch, seeing the Broncos actually play some defense again. But don't even get me started on the offense. We already know where I stand. The offensive line is absolute dog water. So I'm just done with it.
I love it, bro. Dog water, man. Moving on from Justin Fields and the Denver Broncos talk, man. I call this one Truth or Lies. And this, we've been talking about if these guys are blowing smoke out their ears or if they're telling the truth. This one, I think, is potentially the biggest lie of the day that we're going to talk about, honestly. And I'm excited to talk about this one because when I read this, I literally was like, he's lying like that? Like, literally, that was my reaction. He's lying to the media like that. But here it is, man. Russell Wilson says he didn't request a trade from the Seahawks.
What?
You see my point? Like, you're lying to their face, like you're lying to the world, like we didn't see you request it, and then demand specific 5 teams that you would go to. I was like,
and then also demand that there needs to be changes if something's not going to happen.
Russell Wilson is retarded. I truly think he has problems, bro. When I read that, I was like, why is he lying like that?
Future's been putting something in his morning coffee.
Future's like, hey,
put something in his morning coffee.
He's like, I got something for you. He's all pouring protein in his coffee, bro. Russell Wilson goes just like, I love this place so much. I never ever said I wanted to leave here. The media guy's like smoking a cigarette outside, and he overhears him saying that. He's like, really? Guys, Russell said he never wanted to leave. Russell's drunk as hell, leaned out, going to the building. Like, what's going on? That was the biggest lie I've ever seen, bro. He's going to be a Saint one day.
Bro, we've gone like all the offseason without you saying this.
I literally was like, it's not even the season yet. You can't say that yet.
That's like a regular season ritual for you, Jay. You got to save that for the regular season when we're talking about people.
Yeah, fact. You had a nice little streak going on, Jay, but I don't know where that came from. This is off season. Keep that to yourself. He's fun to be a Saint one day, whatever, bud. But moving on, man. So let me just finish this just to clarify. Do you think that's a lie 100% right?
Yes, 110%.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. So I don't want to see someone in chat like, I think Russell Wilson's telling the truth. I think he loves it in Seattle. Cap, bro. Cap. All you guys lying.
Major cap.
Moving on, man, and I love this one, bro. The Jaguar King wants a new gig. And by the Jaguar King, I do mean your boy Gardner Minshew, Tony. Gardner Minshew said Jaguars might take a 5th or 6th round pick for Gardner Minshew, but Gardner wants a chance to compete for a starting job wherever he goes. See, when I seen this, I said, Gardner Minshew, I low-key love to have him behind Dak. You know what I mean? He's not the greatest, but it's something like he gives energy. The mullet, the Jaguar King, like he's a good guy to have on a sideline. I loved it. But when he said he wanted to compete for a starting job, that instantly takes Dallas out of the contentions. Denver? Question mark?
Denver? Hello? Gardner Minshew? We would love for you to come compete with Drew Lock.
That would be a great
that man
three-way
is a certified stud.
He's a beast.
That would be amazing.
Gardner Minshew in Denver, Tony. What's your actual, just 100% honest thoughts on that, bro? Oh my God.
I would love it. I would freaking love it. Because then we have Drew Lock, Gardner Minshew,
and Teddy
somebody else.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. We have those 3 fighting for a spot. Talk about some competition. That's awesome. That'd be great.
I would love it, bro. I think that would be such a crazy competition too. Like all 3 of their talents kind of replicate each other in some way or another. I think that would be fucking just amazing. I think Denver would have something serious.
And the swag in the QB room. Don't even get me started.
Ma, Drew Lock out here wearing a backpack with pads on. That's how much swag he has. Teddy Bridgewater wears 2 gloves while throwing the ball.
Exactly.
Gardner Minshew has a freaking mullet and a mustache. Like literally, the swag in that room would just it'd be leaking out the top, leaking out the top. Look at that, bro. Bro looks like he's just angry. He looks like he's about to play freaking intramural fraternity football, baby. Like, let's go.
And he looks like Thor. He just looks like a miniature Thor.
You guys see, my name for him is the Jaguar King. He looks like Joe Exotic, but with the Jaguars. It just is what it is, man. Moving on.
Jay says Teddy's going to start in Denver, and Jay Money Time says Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico. Yeah, he does kind of look like Uncle Rico. I can see that. Jair Alexander has stuff on lock. Is he better than Jalen Ramsey? So I showed you guys, whether it was Wednesday or whether it was last Sunday on the Talk Your Talk show or the Ricky podcast, I showed you guys the statistics that Jalen Ramsey was putting up against specific receivers that he was covering week in and week out, whether it was good, whether it was bad, whatever it was. And we said that he was probably the most like primetime Sanders out of the players in the NFL today, which I still agree with that. But the question came up, man. Jair Alexander, the cornerback for the Green Bay Packers. I wanted to say Milwaukee Bucks for some reason. The Green Bay Packers. Jair Alexander is almost better or just as good as Jalen Ramsey from what the stats are showing. So I do want to show you guys these stats and ask you guys the simple question. Is he better than Jalen Ramsey? And is he closer to primetime Sanders than Jalen Ramsey is, do we think, man? So starting off here, wide receivers when guarded by Jair Alexander, man. You come here week 1 against Allen Thieden, week 1 and week 8. 4 catches, 66 yards, 1 touchdown, and had an interception. Justin Jefferson also week 1 and week 8, 1 catch for 12 yards. I think that was probably when he was getting started in his NFL career. So you go to week 4 against Calvin Ridley. He had 0 catches for no yards, which is really impressive against Calvin Ridley because he's been cooking people. Then you go to week 6, 0 catches, 0 yards against Mike Evans, which is another impressive game because he had to go against Tom Brady. Then you go to week 7, 0 catches, 0 yards against Will Fuller V.
And that's boy juicing.
I was about to say he's on PEDS. I'll say that every time I say his name. He's on PEDS. That guy shouldn't have even been in the league, but that game, he wasn't even in the game, man. He had 0 catches for 0 yards. Week 12 and 17 against Allen Robinson, 3 catches for 28 total yards out of both games. Week 15 against DJ Moore, 2 catches for 32 yards. Going to A.J. Brown in week 16, 1 catch for 10 yards. The stats don't lie, baby. You know what I'm saying? The stats are showing that this guy has been locking true number one receivers down. I want to ask you, Tony, do you think that Jair Alexander is better than Jalen Ramsey? If so, why? If not, why?
I want to say no. I really want to say no, and that's mainly because we haven't seen him guard the number one wide receiver in the league, in my opinion, who's on his team. Davante Adams. And we'll never see it. Because they're not going to put them together in practice because they're just going to hurt each other.
It would be a hell of a dog match. I bet they do it in practice, but they probably are like, you two, if you guys get anything over like a level 4, I'm sending both of you to the locker room. You both are done. They're probably like, all right.
Yeah.
You get Jair, Ramsey, and Tre'Davious all in the same squad. You're unstoppable. You know how much money that would cost? Jeez.
Yeah.
But continue on. Sorry about
that thing, I guess. No, you're good. I don't think so. I mean, I saw Jalen Ramsey. I was talking mad shit about Jalen Ramsey before he played Davante Adams last year for fantasy. I was like, oh, Davante Adams is going to cook him. Not a fucking catch. Not a single fucking catch.
The second game they played, though, it was a little Jalen Ramsey got cooked, but it was Davante Adams was just running all over the field on him.
Yeah.
Stay with me in my motions. Then he was just back and forth, hike, gone.
Yeah.
It was intense, man. But I agree with you on that. I like Jair Alexander, but I don't like him better than Jalen Ramsey. I said back in 2016 when I was watching the draft, the 2016 NFL draft. I said, okay, Dallas Cowboys with the number 4 overall pick. I want the boy out of Florida State, the cornerback, number 8. He's a beast. He can hit, he can cover, he can do it all. He's like a linebacker with speed, baby. I want Jalen Ramsey. And they were like, with the 4th pick in the 2016 draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Ezekiel Elliott, running back, Ohio State. And I was like, I got pissed because that was the year Ohio State beat Oregon in the national championship. And I was like, did we just do that? I got to be a fan of this guy now? Like, I was pissed. And through the years, Zeke is still a Cowboy where Jalen Ramsey is not a Jacksonville Jaguar anymore. So I don't know if that would have potentially been the same if we would have took Jalen Ramsey, which is kind of why I'm still thinking I'm blessed. The Dallas Cowboys are blessed that we didn't take him. But, man, looking at his talent, bro, Jalen Ramsey, easily the top dog corner in the league still, in my opinion. I do like Jair Alexander a lot, but I don't think he's better than Jalen Ramsey. I'm going to really be watching those 2 corners a lot this year, though, because now that we're talking about the comparisons and who's better and who's not, I'm watching every single game, who they're going against, what they're doing, if they're getting burnt, if they're locking it down at the line. Like, I'm watching everything with those 2 players specifically because I want to see who's more like primetime Deion Sanders, Jalen Ramsey, or Jair Alexander. So definitely stay watching on that, Tony, for me.
If you want to talk about yeah, of course. If you want to talk about cornerbacks, though, you want to talk about the most improved DB room in the league?
The Denver Broncos, I completely agree. You guys went out and got like 4 free agent receivers that are all free agent DBs that are all over like an 87 overall. And then you guys went out and got Patrick Surtain in the 1st round, top 10. Like, your guys' DB room is stacked. Don't get me wrong. I think you guys are easily going to have a defensive backfield as hell.
Yes, and we got Bradley Chubb healthy again and Von Miller. That's why I'm saying the defense is going to be there. Don't get me started on the offense.
It's going to be intense, bro. But speaking about players that are teams that have, stacked weapons, whether it's on offense or whether it's on defense, let's talk about it a little bit, man. So I want to talk about ranking every quarterback's supporting cast for 2021, man. So that being said, supporting cast being said, that meaning who has the best team around the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So there's obviously no one in Houston. There's not even a quarterback to surround people around in Houston. So that I obviously think they're going to be last. But say, for example, the Denver Broncos, they got a couple good receivers. They got a new running back in the draft. Drew Lock might not be too low on that list. So we'll see. But let's find it out, man. Like I said, ranking every quarterback supporting cast for 2021. And this is via Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, man. So starting at 32, man, Tyrod Taylor and the Houston Texans, like I said, they have nobody. 31, kind of surprising to me. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I guess they have nobody on the offensive side, whether it's running back or receiver. That's a huge weapon. They have Swift. They have I don't even think they have Marvin Jones Jr. or Kenny Galladay anymore. So they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie receiver out of USC. That's about all they got down there. So I think it'd be nasty. Darby is nasty. Simmons is nasty, is what Jay Moneytime just said. I completely agree. But down there in 30, we got Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. Think they should definitely be up on the list a little higher. All the things that they did in the offseason, whether it was offensive line, the receiving core, the running back, even Zach Wilson at the quarterback position. I think they should probably be at least higher than 25, but we'll see how it plays out. 29, Mac Jones, Cam Newton, and the New England Patriots. Definitely see that. They don't really have much, and they haven't proven much, so I'm excited to see that. 28, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and the Chicago Bears. I think that's a little low too, but honestly, we're going to have to see what both of them can do with their new team to kind of show and prove if they're deserving of being higher on that list, man. 27, Tua and the Miami Dolphins.
Hang on. Matt Ferracci. That's bullshit.
That's
elaborate on that, bud. Which one is bullshit? Elaborate on that one.
He's a Jets.
I think he might be talking. Okay, I thought he was talking about the Patriots.
No, he's a Jets fan. He's talking about Zach Wilson and the New York Jets being at 30, which I think is crazy too. I think you guys would be higher than 30. You guys just got 2 new receivers, a couple new old linemen. Like, I think you guys would be all right. I think you guys would be all right, man. Yeah, but Matt Ferracci's pissed on that. Yeah, you said the Jets. He doesn't like Zach Wilson. You don't like Zach Wilson? Come on now. Draft party, man. You were going crazy for Zach Wilson. Let's talk about it, man. Jay Money Time said it's fitting, man. I guess we're gonna go ahead and see on the list next, man. Moving on. 27-2 in the Miami Dolphins. That's bullcrap. Now that is crazy. 2 in the Miami Dolphins. Jalen
Bro,
Waddle.
look at that picture real quick.
I know Ryan Fitzmagic, bro. He's on. Wait until you see one of the pictures that gets pulled up a little bit later. I was wondering why they didn't pick a different picture of this specific person, bro. It gets funny. In the chat, man, the disrespect we got: Crowder, Mims, Elijah Moore, etc. DJ or Corey Davis, and he said, "Nah, I'm cool with Zach." Okay, good, man. That's what I'm saying. I think the Jets are kind of getting robbed a little bit on this, but we'll move on. 2 in the Dolphins, 27. Jalen Hurts in the Philadelphia, 26. They should be way further down. Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville at 25. Love it. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Washington football team at 24. I could see that. And Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers at 23. After going 11-0 at some point last year, I guess they're, in the bottom half of how good their offense actually is. So I think that's a bit concerning, but we'll see how they play out.
Because of the running game, probably.
Well, they just got Najee Harris, which I think he's probably going to be the next great first round running back. In my opinion, I'll send you this video for you to watch on him. You're going to be like, okay, fantasy pick.
I've seen Najee Harris play in college. I know he's on my radar. He's on my radar for sure.
Just originally wanted Sam to stay. I'm all on board with Zach Wilson train. Bow. Honestly, who isn't in New York? Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville at 25. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Washington football team at 24. Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh Steelers at 23. Moving on, 22. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. 21. Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Stop right there. Where is it in chat? Jay Money Time. Can't wait to see the Raiders in the top 10. Where is it at?
He said
Put
that?
it up on there. Yeah. Can't wait to see Carr top 10. Jay Money Time.
When did he say that? Here we go. Can't wait to see Carr in the top 10. Oh my God, Justin, come on now, bud. You guys aren't even in the top 20, man. Get real. Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders at 21. Sorry about that, bud. Daniel Jones and the New York Giants at 20. Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock at 19. They break ahead of Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders at 19.
Fuck the Raiders.
Fuck
the Raiders.
Yeah, you guys are going down on Thanksgiving too, Justin. You might not want to go to that game. 18, Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers. Jay Money Time just puts the sad face up. I'm dying. Moving on, man. At 17, we have Carson Wentz in the Indianapolis Colts. I like that a lot. 16, Matt Ryan in the Atlanta Falcons. 15, Kyler Murray in the Arizona Cardinals, which I think they should probably be higher. Kyler Murray. They have, I don't know, really actually know who they have at running back nowadays. I think it's Chase Edmonds. And then they have Hopkins, AJ Green. They have a receiving core though, so we'll see what they can do there. 14, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Feeling that. 13, Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. Like that as well. I think that'll be interesting. I do want to bring up real quick before we move on. You haven't seen the Dallas Cowboys yet. They putting us high up on the list, baby. They putting Dallas high up on the list today. J Money or Big Blue J92 with the laughing face. Jalen said, "Chill, Justin, just chill." Sad face broke for the first time in 80 years. Tony, you got to watch the draft extravaganza to know what we're talking about on that. Ty, the Bears fan, came on when they traded up for the pick, and he had a fucking Scream mask on, and everyone's like dying laughing, and he's like, "Will the sad face be over for the first time in 80 years?" And then I took the mask off. Like, it was hilarious, bro. Ty had me weak with that whole draft extravaganza, bro. But moving on, man. Moving on down. At 12, Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans with the addition of Julio. They definitely were easily going to be in the top 15. 11, Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, and the New Orleans Saints. Please don't pipe this man, Jalen, and the Saints up more than they already are. 10, Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. And I think this may have been the picture. Like, why couldn't they have chosen a different picture for Justin Herbert? Like,
hang on. Hang on. Big Blue Jay coming in hot. Hot.
These Cowboy fans love fake prediction lists. Whatever you say, you're just mad because the Giants didn't break the top 20 either. Haters. I'm cool with 11. You guys are going to see, man. Don't get me started, man. Justin Herbert at 10. The Titans should be ahead of the Saints, which I agree with too. They don't even have Drew Brees no more. Probably should flop those two. At 9
before the trade or what?
No, this list was made like yesterday. Gridiron Bleacher Report, baby. Yeah, that's why I'm a bit I don't know. The Saints at 11 is weird. The Saints at 11 and the Bears back in the 20s is weird, man. Eric, the Saints are finna beat the hell out of the Cowboys this year. Do we even play you guys? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule. I think we do. I think we play in the Big Easy. Why do they always put us against the Saints? They suck. But at 8, Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams, bro. They got the Rams and Matt Stafford at 8. I think that'll be interesting. At 7, Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I think they just need to get rid of Kirk and they'll be top 5. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills at 6, Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns at 5, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers at 4. I think you can change Aaron Rodgers out for Jordan Love. If you want to, you can go ahead and put Jordan Love's name in there.
Hang on, pause real quick.
Go ahead.
So Broncos and Cowboys played November 7th. Saints and Cowboys played December 2nd.
I am possibly going to that Cowboys-Broncos game in Dallas.
Ooh, there you go.
You interested?
Shit, maybe.
I'll beat your ass with all the rest of the Cowboys fans if they start jumping you.
First of all, I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about the actual Texans. You are not my problem. I'll just stiff arm your ass.
Every Colorado fan should be worried as hell right now in sports. Colorado fans are out here getting their ass whooped at events. Let's be honest. It's happened in hockey yards.
But I'm not the one.
It's happened in the Nuggets this series. It's happened to the Rockies this year. These Colorado fans are out here just like
people that are getting beat up. You see the people that are getting beat up though?
All from Colorado. Did you see that? Did you see the Nuggets dude fighting the Suns, dude? I should have put that video on here. Did you see that fight?
Yes.
Nuggets guy's like, oh. And then the Suns dude was all,
yeah.
Suns and 4. I was like, oh, damn. Like, he whooped his ass and then said Suns and 4. That's how you know it's just bad. It was dirty, bro. Bro, you guys only beat us one time in the last 8 years. We only played twice in the last 8 years. Calm down. So just stop. The Saints don't even have a quarterback. You stop. Jesus. When we had Andy Dalton last year, did you guys hear me talking anything? No, because I knew it was over with. Jalen, you're at that point now where you should know that is over with. 3 playoffs in a row, and you guys can't make it to the Super Bowl. You guys had Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas about to leave. Drew Brees is already gone, and I think Alvin Kamara is probably getting towards the end of his patience with the New Orleans Saints. So please don't come at me about the Saints. You know you won't watch that game with me because I'll make you cry again. I had Jalen pissed last time the Saints played the Cowboys. Every time Leighton Van Der Esch hit Alvin Kamara, I would look at Jalen and just be like, he's having fun. He's having fun. And Jalen would be like, shut up. Stop. He had to like leave my room, go somewhere else. It wasn't.
But Jalen was like, what, 12 when that happened?
Nah, man. That was like 2 years ago, man. He was like 19. He was like a grown man. He's a grown-ass man right there, man. Moving on. Let's get into the top damn 3 of the teams. At 3, Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys. Man, I honestly think that's a perfect fit for us. Loving it, but I think we're going to have to see what we do with the offense, whether our O-line can stay healthy, whether he can get kicking. I know Dak going to be fine. I know the receivers are going to be on point, but it's the rest of the offense that got to be working. 2, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you can swap them with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1, but we'll see. We'll see. Getting on quick on the Rotator Cup. Tony, what quarterback in year 2 do you think will make the biggest leap this year in 2021? Do you think it's going to be Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, or Joey Burrow? Biggest jump.
Justin Herbert.
Think he'll make the biggest jump?
Yeah, him or Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's coming back with a vengeance after hurting himself.
I can see that, honestly. Let me get into this real quick. Honestly, biggest jump in year 2 quarterbacks out of Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, or Joey Burrow. I'm going to go ahead and be bold here and say Joe Burrow, just because I feel like Justin Herbert, it'll be hard to get to a next level when he won Rookie of the Year, when he's already like a good quarterback. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Tom Brady having to kick it to a next level. Like, is there a next level? I do think that there is a next level for Justin Herbert, but I don't know if we'll potentially reach it on just his second year. You know what I mean? I think he might need a little bit of experience, a little bit of moxie, stuff like that to kind of continue on for him to make a big leap. But I have Joey Burrow making that leap huge, man. Big Blue Jay said Ashton Kutcher come out. Oh my, I think he's talking about the Cowboys being a top 3 team. Whatever you're saying, this isn't punked. Angel Hastings, welcome to the show, bro. Little late, but you're here. Jay said you didn't answer my question. What was the question? Y'all make playoffs last year? Y'all making playoffs this year? Jalen, you're literally the winner of the Super Bowl is in your division. Stop. They beat you guys or you guys beat them twice and they still won the Super Bowl. Stop. Matt Faraci says Burrow still has no O-line. Well, now that you mention it, he doesn't have an O-line. They didn't take Penei Sewell. They took Jamar Chase. So it'll be interesting to see how he jumps. But I'm still going to go Joe Burrow. I like him.
So we said most improvement from last year, right?
Biggest jump.
Yeah. So Joe Burrow got injured in what, week 3?
No, I think it was like week 6 or 7. I got to see him for quite a little bit. I like the way he was playing for a little bit. That's why I'm saying I like Joe Burrow. He was playing outstanding.
So then, yeah, I mean, as long as he goes past week 7 or 8, that's a jump.
Exactly. And then one thing with these second-year quarterbacks, man, is it's not a make-it-or-break-it year. Let's be honest. They can have a bad year, and they'll still be back for that third season to kind of prove themselves. You know what I'm saying? Drew Lock example. You know what I'm saying? He's not the best, but he's still there. He's still back. He's still young. They're going to see what he's doing and how he can get better and better.
We almost shipped his ass. Aaron Rodgers? Here.
Should I start packing my bags now? They're like, I don't know, man. Just go ahead and pack them, hold them off. Don't put them on a plane yet. Just chill. But, man, moving on, man. Talking about second-year quarterbacks not having make-it-or-break-it years, now we are talking about players that have a make-it-or-break-it year in the NFL 2021 season, man. So starting off with the make-it-break-it players, we'll go ahead and start off with Cam Newton, man, quarterback of the Patriots, New England Patriots. He's definitely in a make-it-break-it year. He's really not getting paid anything already. And the Patriots didn't have a great season last year. So if they don't have a great season this year, what will happen to them? What will be going on? Tony, do you think this is a right comparison, saying that it is a make-or-break year for Cam Newton?
Yeah, if he doesn't play well within the first 4 games, you know who's coming in.
Mike McCorkle Jones is coming in, baby. It's going to be lit. Next quarterback on the hit list, Sam Darnold, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. This is his first year with the Carolina Panthers, but this is not his first year in the league by any means. He's shown flashes that he can be good. He's shown flashes that he can be really bad, but he also did play for that Jets team when they were kind of at the lowest of low. So, Tony, do you think this is a great perception of a make-or-break-it year for Sam Darnold?
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen this guy play outstanding and with horrible team. I mean, so now let's see what he can do, because now he has who's that wide receiver for Carolina? DJ Moore?
DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. They're both cold. They're both good.
Yeah. DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore. I had him on my fantasy last year. He was actually decent.
I gave him to you.
Yeah.
I gave him to you because I had him and Robbie Anderson. I was making trades one weekend, and I was going crazy, like making good trades. And then I looked at my roster, and I was like, I have 2 Panthers receivers, and they have no quarterback. It's like, what am I doing? I need to get rid of one of these guys. So I was trying to dish. I was rather a dish at Robbie Anderson, but, yeah, you had DJ Moore on your team. I gave him to you. But he's a baller. Oh, you talking about QBs? No, it doesn't have to be QBs. Just make it break it players, man. First 2 were Cam Newton and Sam Darnold, but the next one is Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker for the Cowboys. And honestly, everyone loves Leighton, potential rookie of the year when he was rookie. Everyone knows he's a baller. They call him the Wolf. He does that weird wolf crap when he tackles somebody. But man, he's kind of been injury prone with that whole neck injury. That was kind of why people were sleeping on him in the draft, because he had a sprained neck in his college career, and we've taken him, and I think this is his third year, and he's had 2 neck injuries already. So with the linebacker Micah Parsons that was drafted in the first round this year, it's make it or break it for Leighton Vander Esch, man. And like I said last week on the Talk Your Talk show, him and Jalen Smith, our starting linebackers, were taking team reps with the second team. They had Micah Parsons and our free agent linebacker that we picked up, taking him with the first team. So it's a make it break it year for Leighton Vander Esch, no doubt, man. Matt Faraci said Robbie Anderson was with him in New York too. He was on the Jets with them. So him and Sam Darnold might have a really good connection. Moving on to something, Tony, you might be interested in this one a little bit. AJ Green, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals now, longtime wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. Everyone knows that he kind of was injured the last couple years, and that this is a make or break a year for him, no matter what team he's on. But it kind of helps him to be on a team with, Hopkins on the other side, kind of take a little damage off of his side. So, Tony, do you think this is a good take?
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think he's actually going to do very well with Arizona. With the Bengals, he hasn't had the most
great quarterback.
Yeah, let's say that lightly. So I mean, it'll be cool to see him with a quarterback who actually can get him the ball and see what he can do with the ball in his hands.
I completely 100% agree. Kyler Murray, I'm going to go ahead and be honest. I keep popping in and out of like fantasy talk, and I'm going to pop back in for a second. Kyler Murray is the next Lamar Jackson in fantasy. Don't take him. Literally the last 2 years in fantasy. 2 years ago, I had Lamar Jackson as my quarterback when he won MVP. One of the worst fantasy years I've ever had, because all he does is run. He doesn't throw the ball. Last year, I think I took Jimmy Garoppolo and ended up trading him somehow for Kyler Murray. One of the worst quarterbacks I've ever had in fantasy, because he loves to run. Don't get quarterbacks in fantasy that like to run unless you're not going to really use him. If you have him as a backup, fine. But if you're going for a potential starting quarterback in fantasy football and you draft Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, it's going to be problems. Don't care who they have at their receivers. Don't care who they are. They run the ball way too much. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there. AJ Green might have a little bit of a rough year catching the ball, because Kyler Murray loves to run the ball. Moving on, man. Daniel Jones, quarterback for the New York Giants. I know Jason's not going to love to see this, but I know he's been telling me for quite a while that himself, that this is a make it or break it year for Daniel Jones. They've given him a couple of years to kind of get his feet under him, and now that he has weapons in Kenny Galladay and Saquon Barkley,
No, you did.
Stuff like that. What? He said I took Lamar and traded for Aaron.
Isn't he the one who tripped on his way to the end zone?
Yeah. Daniel Jones is the one on the 80-yard run, after he got his feet under. No pun intended. I didn't mean that. You're the one that brought that up. He's the one that ran 80 yards and tripped, so I guess he doesn't have his feet under him. But hopefully he can get his feet under him in 2021, man, and get the Giants ball rolling. Jason was telling me a while ago that this is his year. I'm saying this as a Dallas fan. Daniel Jones is dangerous. When Daniel Jones is on, he is on. But the thing with him is like he's so inconsistent, you never really know when he's gonna be on.
Well, now he has a weapon that stands right next to him in the pocket. Saquon is back, so that's going to be a problem, because now they're not going to be relying on that pass game so much, or for him to make those plays where he scrambles for 70 yards and falls at the 10-yard line. So I think the Giants will be decent this year. I really do.
I agree. Big DJ 92, the biggest Giants fan, said don't sleep on DJ Vanilla Vic. Vanilla Vic. Don't. I've never seen Michael Vick trip like that, but I like the comparison, honestly. I like that name, Vanilla Vic. That's why I'm going to start calling him Vanilla Vic DJ. DJ Vanilla Vic. That's for real, like a whole DJ name. DJ Vanilla Vic. Moving on to our last make it or break it player, and I saved this one for last because I do think it is the most important make it or break it. I think if he makes it, his career can be as high as he wants it to be, but I think if he doesn't make it, I think his career is like potentially over. In my opinion, I've been said this guy is kind of subpar in the first place, and he's kind of been getting way too much money than he deserves. Juju Smith-Schuster, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. It is his make it or break it year. Me and Tony were riding the Steelers really high last year on their 11-0 streak. None of it was because of Julio. I will say that right now. None of it was because of, or not Julio, Juju. None of it was because of Julio or Juju. Juju didn't do a damn thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. Julio. Just give me a second. Blah, 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 blah. Juju Smith-Schuster didn't do anything for the Steelers last year. Juju Smith-Schuster got paid way too much money in his first 3-4 years, and he's getting paid way too much money now. He should have went to Baltimore. He should have got out of Pittsburgh, but I think he knows Pittsburgh is the best chance for him to make or break his career this year. Because if this year isn't his year, I think his career is kind of done. So, Tony, what are you thinking on Juju Smith-Schuster?
There you go.
Do you think it's a great break it or make it or break it year for him, or what?
So in my opinion, I think he just, I don't know. I don't like the guy personally. I really don't. I don't know if it's because he's huge on this TikTok thing more than he is on football. I feel like that might be a reason he didn't have a good year last year, is because he's focusing on that. Yes, but I do agree it's make it or break it. I just think he's going to break it.
Make it or break it, man. It's going to be intense, bro. It's going to be really intense. But that was the last make it or break it we had here on this segment, make it or break it year. That is kind of coming to the end of our show. A couple things I want to talk about before we get out of here, though, man. The $1,000 fantasy football showdown is here, man. We've been playing it every week for the past, I think, probably a month. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up so I can see how much teams are left. But the $1,000 showdown is here, man. It is covered by the Rick T podcast and the Talk Your Talk show. We will be covering it every week on our shows live. We'll be doing live interview with coaches, live interview with the team owners, just kind of talking about what their plans are with their fantasy team, who they're thinking about taking in the draft, stuff like that. And we're going to get really into it, man. I know we have 3 spots left, so there's 7 people in this. I know me, I'm in it. I know Jello's in it. I know Tony's in it. I know Jason's in it. I know my dad's in it. I know Matthew Farachi's in it. Man, let's get some more people from this chat in it. I know you guys love to watch it. Matthew Farachi said, y'all hear about Le'Veon Bell's drama. Yeah, we'll get to that in 1 second. Sorry, I honestly forgot about that. Angel Hastings, I think he's young. He's going to get to his head. Hope he clears his head for next season.
My goodness.
What's going on?
Yo, Le'Veon Bell says he'd retire before playing for Kansas City Chiefs coach Andy Reid again.
I seen that, and I'm kind of curious on what the hell happened there. Is he salty that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was getting more touches, or because Andy Reid is he's got titles, bro? Like, what are you not playing with them for?
Yeah, I don't know. That's I want to know the rest of the story.
Me too. Honestly, after we get off here, I'm going to look into it a little bit and we can chop it up about it later, and maybe bring it up on Talk Your Talk Wednesday. I'll have you on and maybe we'll chop it up a little bit about that, because I think that's an interesting topic too. But moving back into what we were talking about, the $1,000 football or $1,000 fantasy football showdown is here. 3 teams left. Got a bunch of players in it. Winner gets $700. Second place gets $200. Third place gets their $100 back, and it is a $100 buy-in. Due 2 weeks before the draft on August 29th, 2021, man. So we have months. We are months away, but it is getting closer and closer and closer. We do this every year, right, Tony, where we get people in the league and then we talk about it, and then you go to sleep and you wake up and it's draft day. That's just the way it works. It happens so fast. The offseason goes so fast, especially when you're excited for, trades and, fantasy football league coming up and stuff like that. And then you wake up and, you're in. Angel Hastings said he's in. I would love to have you, bro. I'll send you the link after the show, and we'll get you in there to secure your spot, bro. It's going to be lit. But, man, like I said, $700 for first place, $200 for second place, and $100 for the third place. You get that back, no love lost. But, man, it's going to be lit. Like I said, it's going to be covered on all platforms on the Rick T podcast, Talk Your Talk show. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And it gets competitive every year. Every single year we do this, it gets hella competitive. There's always some drama that happens. There's always some cheaters, cough, Jalen. But man, we're gonna get past that this year because this is for the money, and this is gonna be the best year we've had yet, man. But thank you guys for tuning into the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8. You can catch us Sunday mornings live, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch, YouTube, and or our Facebook Live page, the Rick T Podcast. Tony, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
No, sir. Thanks for tuning in.
He said, thanks for tuning in. We out of this motherfucker. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Rick T Podcast. Season 2, Episode 8. Sorry, I was reading something. But, man, it's going to be popping on Wednesday with the Talk Your Talk show. Tony, I appreciate you for joining me, man. I appreciate all the viewers for showing love this whole show, man. We stayed above 10 viewers the whole show, which it doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of you guys, but to us, that's huge. We didn't have any less than 10 viewers the whole time. So we appreciate you guys more than you guys know. But let's get it popping on Wednesday and next Sunday with the Talk Your Talk show and the Rick T Podcast, Episode 9, man. I'm your host, Eric Holmes. This is your co-host, Tony Cave. We are out of here. Peace.
Basketball camp is next weekend. You got amazing potential on the court, and I can help you get there.
That's not what I want, Dad. You never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just do me.
Hold up. Wrong floor. Bet Will Smith ain't got to deal with this.
Dad!
Down! What in the Matrix hell?
Welcome to the space.
Welcome, King James. I am the king of this domain. This is the serververse.
What'd you do to my son? Where's Dom?
The only way you're getting your son back is if you and I play a little basketball. Pete, send this clown to the rejects.
Wait. What is this? Ah! I'm a cartoon?
Meh. What's up, Doc?
I need to assemble an elite team to help get my son back.
I know what you're looking for. A dream team. Slam! Shoot the ball! Let's try that again, shall we?
King James. Welcome to the Space Jam. Introducing the Goon Squad.
You gotta win this game.
Let's end this.
Got you, Kron? And get our son back.
Yikes. Classic.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
I'm going old school on his butt.
Whoa.
Welcome to the Space Jam.